Here's your wrestling news for March 6, 2023, and we're starting today with Liv Morgan, who since losing the SmackDown Women's Championship has tried to regain her footing on top of the division, but that is proving to be easier said than done. Despite her popularity with fans, Morgan is not booked for WrestleMania 39, and the odds of her getting a match at this point seem slim, and she's now even struggling to get segments on SmackDown. According to a report from Sean Ross Sapp behind Fightful's paywall, Liv was originally planned for a segment last week on SmackDown, which would have built to the Rhea Ripley match, but that was nixed. Morgan and Rhea Ripley were the final two competitors in the 2023 Women's Royal Rumble match and were also once tag team partners, even teaming together at WrestleMania 38 last year. We know that Ripley is on the card for this year's show, but there's no plans for Morgan just yet, and time will tell what's in store for the former women's champion in the weeks and months to come. From one young star to another, as Solo Sikoa has been on WWE's main roster for just over 6 months and has been an imposing presence as part of the Bloodline. Sikoa's position with the group has allowed him the chance to face some top stars, including Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and Kevin Owens, to name a few, but WWE is saving their biggest star of them all. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer addressed the double countout from last week's SmackDown and said that WWE is focused on keeping Solo strong and avoiding him taking losses. Meltzer added that WWE is saving the former NXT North American champion for a feud with none other than Roman Reigns, but did not specify when such a feud will happen. A feud between Sikoa and Reigns may seem odd right now, given that Solo has been a loyal soldier of the Tribal Chief, but as we've seen with Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, there's always the chance to break away from the Bloodline. Right now, Reigns' focus is on Cody Rhodes and their much-anticipated match at WrestleMania, and while Sikoa has shared the ring with his cousin countless times, there will be a day when they stand across from each other as opponents. More from SmackDown as Ronda Rousey was in a sling during this week's show, and that is because the former women's champion has aggravated an old injury. Given that we are just 26 days away from WrestleMania, this setback couldn't come at a worse time, but fans hoping to see Rousey in action this April should breathe a sigh of relief. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer explained that Rousey's injury is not going to change any plans for her at WrestleMania, and the hope is that she and Baszler will still become the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions at the event. Meltzer said that this was the original idea when Rousey and Baszler were put together as a team, though how WWE gets the titles onto the pair will be interesting to see. After all, right now, the new Women's Tag Team Champions Becky Lynch and Lita are in the midst of a feud with Damage Control, and many expect a 6-woman tag pitting the champs and Trish Stratus against the group this April. How WWE shifts Lynch and Lita from Damage Control to Baszler and Rousey remains to be seen, but right now, not even an injury will stop the baddest woman on the planet competing at WrestleMania. Now, given that WrestleMania is going Hollywood this year, WWE's graphics for the show have included movie posters featuring the WWE superstars. The other week, eagle-eyed fans spotted that on the poster, the words "directed by Vince McMahon" could be seen, leaving some speculating that the chairman is more involved in creative than WWE is willing to admit. Whether that is the case or not, that poster has since changed, and McMahon has been replaced as director of WrestleMania by Selma Tinware. Miss Tinware neither has a background in professional wrestling or in entertainment, but that's probably because she doesn't exist, as the Selma Tinware name is just an anagram of WrestleMania. McMahon may be in charge of WWE again, but the billionaire remains a source of great controversy amongst fans, so it's easy to see why WWE would want to distance this April's show from its owner. AEW Revolution news now, as Wardlow has finally gotten his revenge on Samoa Joe by dethroning Joe to regain the TNT Championship. Not only did Wardlow win the gold, but he did so with a submission, locking in Joe with a sleeper hold and giving the now former TNT champion a taste of his own medicine. Revolution also saw the Guns retain the AEW World Tag Team titles against 3 very game teams, but their victory was short-lived. Post-match, FTR made their return to AEW following a hiatus from the company, and while there have been questions about their future, it appears that Cash and Dax will be sticking around for the foreseeable future. For some time, MJF is teased leaving the All Elite promotion behind and jumping ship to the shiny shores of WWE. In early 2019, MJF signed a 5-year deal with AEW, so we know that his contract will end in early 2024, and it's no secret that WWE is interested in signing him. Well, it turns out that MJF teasing leaving AEW for WWE isn't just for the cameras, as Fightful Select reports that MJF is even telling those in WWE that he'll be joining soon enough. The report states, MJF has told anyone that asks the same thing that he says on AEW TV, that his deal is up at the start of the year. This extends to WWE as well, including one WWE talent outright admitting that MJF said, "I'm looking forward to being there in 2024, before noting that while MJF wanted them to think he was serious, they take it all with a grain of salt. Word of him saying that had made its way to other talent there as well. Perhaps MJF really does believe he will be with WWE next year, the same company that he once auditioned for as part of Tough Enough, but the AEW World Champion's commitment to his character makes it hard to take anything he says at face value. Another source in WWE said the company obviously would be interested in him when his contract is up, but with rumors that he may have signed an extension in 2022, nobody's quite sure when his deal actually expires. At last night's Revolution pay-per-view, MJF retained his title in sudden death over Bryan Danielson, and at this time, MJF is probably the only person in the world who knows what's next in the career of the Devil himself. Do you want to see MJF tackle with the likes of Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and possibly Cody Rhodes again? Or should he stay with AEW where he is a top star already? Sound off in the comments. With his new contract that he signed last year, Roman Reigns has a much more relaxed schedule, which makes any time he's in the ring a huge deal. At Elimination Chamber, Reigns retained his undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Sami Zayn, but their non-televised rematch has shocked fans. Returning to Canada, in this case Toronto, Reigns retained again against Zayn, and after telling the fans to acknowledge him after the match, viciously attacked the unconscious Zayn in the middle of the ring. Reigns is looking to put the matter with Zayn behind him so he can focus on Cody Rhodes, and the Tribal Chief sent a powerful, painful message to any would-be challengers this week in Toronto. Reigns was all business during the show in Toronto, but the Tribal Chief showed his softer side outside of the arena. On Twitter, one Canadian fan by the name of Amanda was ecstatic to share a selfie with Reigns, who broke character for this special interaction. Amanda was thrilled that on this occasion, Reigns was the one acknowledging someone else, and added that she still had to boo him during the event. Roman Reigns is unquestionably WWE's top heel and is won over fans as the head of the table, and he might keep winning over fans out of the ring because he's a good guy in real life. More from WWE live events now, as half the roster recently hosted a show in Trenton, and Seth Rollins decided to have some fun at the expense of Austin Theory. During their US title match, Rollins was involved in a spot in which he made Theory kiss his boots as the fans sang Seth's theme song. The only reason Theory agreed to kiss Seth's boot was because he was told that if he did, he wouldn't be leveled with the stomp, but once Theory tried to sneak attack Rollins, he got the stomp anyway. Theory may have ended up retaining his title, but given that he had to kiss Seth's boots not once, but twice, we doubt this is a match the reigning US champion will be bragging about on social media. More from Revolution now, as Jade Cargill wasn't on the show, and according to PW Insider, this was due to time management with the main event. Given the hour-long main event between MJF and Bryan Danielson, AEW had no time for a TBS title match. But with the report stating that her next program is already in the works, expect Cargill back in the ring soon enough. Now, this summer will mark 3 years since Dominic Mysterio made his in-ring debut, and he's come a long way from just being Rey Mysterio's son. Dominic's work with the Judgment Day and his ex-con antics have proven to be a hit with not just fans, but how he is seen in WWE. Recently, a report came out stating that Dominic's more recent work was impressing the right names backstage, but that's not entirely the case. When Ringside News asked, they were told that Dominic Mysterio's progress hasn't impressed anyone, but that doesn't take anything away from his ability. A tenured member of the creative team told us, "I don't know that there was ever a lack of faith in Dom, so it's clear that Dominic has been impressing people throughout his entire career thus far." It's been rumored that Dominic will face his father at WrestleMania, but nothing has been confirmed yet, and while the reports of him only recently impressing people were false, that's because the Judgment Day star has been proving himself for years. What do you make of Dominic's career in WWE so far? Are you enjoying his work in the Judgment Day, or is his prison convict antics just too hokey for your taste? And we're ending with Tommaso Ciampa, who was called up to the main roster last year, but hasn't been seen in months due to a severe hip injury. After his hip had been bothering him for nearly an entire year, Ciampa underwent surgery in October 2022, and he's been out of action ever since. The former NXT champion took to his Instagram to update his followers, and in the post, Ciampa revealed that he's undergone stem cell therapy that, in theory, should drastically speed up his recovery time. Ciampa added that at the center of his treatment, you write down on your stem cell bag what you hope to achieve, and he has written "Dance with Buddies," the phrase his 4-year-old daughter calls wrestling. Ciampa added that he also wants to play tag with his daughter Willow, saying, "It breaks my heart that he can't do that right now." Stem cell therapy has proven to help in recovery from injuries, but given how the cells are extracted, the practice remains controversial and in many places illegal. But for now, we can only hope that the treatment helps Ciampa back to 100% soon enough.